Hi, thanks for pushing the on button for this trainer tip for Fresh Breath 1. We're going to talk about the semicircle prep and discuss a little bit about how it's different from hip rolls, how we use hip rolls to prep into semicircle prep, and what the full semicircle looks like. So when you are working with your participants, you are meeting them wherever they are at their fitness level. So first things first, this is Nicole, and we're going to look at how she is positioned on the glide board. When she rolls back under her back, she'll still be with her hips at the bottom edge of the glide board, giving herself a good range of motion. Her feet now, we start someone off with hip rolls first on their heels, okay? That's what we learned in Reform and Evolved. If your feet are on the toe bar, your heels will be hip distance apart and your toes will be up to the air. So she's gonna go right to a parallel foot position. Now here with the hip rolls, when her legs are fully straight, it may be hard to articulate up the spine. It's easier to lift straight up into a bridge. So you're gonna lift straight up. See how easy she goes up and then right back down. But how about if I ask her to curl up? It's a little bit more challenging, that's okay, but you'll notice that the feet will point away and she's trying to use everything she has to roll up. That's okay, it's a great demonstration. So what I'll tell people when they're learning that articulation up is to bend the knees softly, because that flexes the hip, that helps the pelvis go into that posterior tilt, and then it's easier for her to roll up. From here, she bends her knees and she comes in. The glide board can close and remain open, zoop, so you can still see me, and then she can press back up. These are hip rolls. This is where she comes down, she rolls up, she presses back, and she repeats that 3 times and then reverses it. However, in this workout, we go to semicircle prep. And why do we call it semicircle versus hip rolls? Well, first of all, our foot position is different. No longer are we on our heels, rather we're on the balls of our feet. So that could be a great transition for someone. First hip rolls to the balls of the feet. However, we want to take them out into an externally rotated position. Now we would take someone out to an externally rotated position and we ask them to roll up, could be challenging. So why not go wide? Use that toe bar for all it's worth. And from here, same thing, let the soft bend in the knee occur. Slowly roll up, come on down, slowly roll down, and then press back up. Just continue this range of motion for a few times as I continue to chit chat. Another thing to note, you want those heels high to the sky, okay? So when she's rolling up and down, have the heels high to the sky. Beautiful, so those are the things you're cueing. This is a nice position, you can take a rest 1 second. If someone is obese or pregnant, the wide hip position is maybe where you want to start them off and keep them because it's easier to manipulate the hips when the feet are wider. All right, so now the true one is you start to work towards the true one by bringing the feet together. Heels stay lifted, smaller base of support. They continue that movement pattern. You just do one range of motion for me. You come in, zoop, slowly roll it down, come back up. Heels stay lifted as you slowly roll back up into that bridge position. And then slowly coming back. Remember, you repeat this 3 times each way. That's the prep we learn in this exercise routine. Now, you have some participants you want to advance. How do we do that? Maybe the arms reach up for the ceiling. Maybe you have them hold some weights as they do this. Or maybe you start to transition them to the full semicircle prep. As you can see, Nicole here, she's scooting down the glide board. Her shoulder blades will rest at the bottom edge of the glide board. Her rib cage will be off, her heels still remain high, and she goes through the movement pattern of slowly rolling up, coming in, slowly rolling down, pressing back. One more time, up, in, roll down, and back. Now, how do we get out of this position? Tell her to straighten out her legs. She pushes herself up, pulls down that glide board, and boom, she's in the position with the rest of the group. So that's how you have that exercise progress if you have the beginner, the intermediate, and advanced. One more thing I just want you to note and play around with is that toe bar height. In the workout, we start with it at a lower level. That can be an assistance for some people. They may feel like they can really get the hips up high when the toe bar is lower down. Sometimes people feel it easier to get the hips up when the toe bar is higher because their hips are already more flexed and it may help them roll up more. So that's something I want you to consider when you're doing this exercise with people. Look at the toe bar height and manipulate that and see if that helps. The other thing I want to remind you of is that incline height will be affecting the exercise. The lower down you go, the harder it is to control. Again, when you change the incline, look at the toe bar and how those relationships work. So I hope this tip helps you out when you're working with that semicircle prep. Thanks, Nicole, for tuning in.
Thanks.